Okay, party people in the house, you're about to witness something you've never witnessed before.
Lil' P on the track, boy.
What's the business? What's the business? Phone jumping off the chain like what's the business? I'ma pull up with the yay like what's the business? Eating lunch with the blood like what's the business? AR double drum like what's the business? 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 Catch me sliding to the trap like what's the business? Grinding, trying to make a stack like what's the business? I'ma pull up on you like what's the business? She gon' give it to the kid like what's the business?
I didn't know I was muted. So let me start this over. You about to tell me I'm muted? Okay. Yeah, I was muted. My bad. Let me start it over.
Lil' P on the track, boy.
What's the business? What's the business? What's the business? Phone jumping off the chain like what's the business?
Sandwich in my pocket when I got arrested. That's the business.
I'ma pull up with the yay like what's the business?
Roll in a tan kid with magic markets. That's the business.
Eating lunch with the blood like what's the business?
Did you see a license plate? That's the business.
AR double drum like what's the business?
Is that judicial determination? That's the business.
What's the business? 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 What's the business?
Did you hear a horn when I ran you over? That's the business.
Catch me sliding to the trap like what's the business?
Riding in my mama's car. That's the business.
Grinding, trying to make a stack like what's the business?
Every black stereotype. That's the business.
I'ma pull up on you like what's the business?
Using COVID to postpone the trial. That's the business.
She gon' give it to the kid like what's the business?
Is it noted for the record? That's the business.
30 shots in the clip like what's the business? You don't gotta choose it like what's the business?
Would it be fair to say that's the business?
All my niggas on the job, what's the business? Tryna rob and you get dropped, what's the business?
Objection, no consent to my name. That's the business.
You a walking stain, what's the business? I'ma hit your chest brain, what's the business?
Jury nullification, they hold the power. That's the business.
We be running through a block like what's the business?
Lawful law, that's the business.
100 shots for a op like what's the business? Gang, Gang phone jumping off the chain like what's the business?
Asking dumbass questions in court, that's the business.
I'ma pull up with the yay like what's the business?
Building a box fort in the courtroom, that's the business.
Eating lunch with the blood like what's the business?
Penis in my mouth for commissary, that's the business.
AR double drum like what's the business?
Statutory sexual seduction, that's the business.
What's the business? What's the business? What's the business?
Secret baby mama, that's the business.
What's the business? 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 What's the business?
Is that a tacit agreement? That's the business.
What's the business? What's the business? What's the business? Bro say he need them pounds. What's the business? Hit my line when I'm in town like what's the business?
Driving a raggedy car with no job, that's the business.
Heard they claiming it's a drop like what's the business?
Alleged defendant, not my name, what's the business?
I'ma bring them round them out like what's the business?
Telling lies on alibis, that's the business.
Killing overflow like what's the business? Killing for these hoes like what's the business?
Trapping hoes, beating bitches, that's the business.
Never leave without that pole like what's the business? Blowing Cali out the door, what's the business? Stupid link on the cane, what's the business?
Would it be fair to say that's the business?
I'm a guy, Charlemagne, what's the business?
Judge Darrell's bitch, that's the business.
Pouring money, that's my lane, what's the business?
Romantic Magic Marcus, that's the business.
Thumbing through a whole thing like what's the business? Phone jumping off the chain like what's the business? I'ma pull up with the yay like what's the business? Eating lunch with the blood like what's the business? AR double drum like what's the business?
Murder children with no remorse, that's the business.
What's the business? 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 What's the business?
Did you hear a horn when I ran you over? That's the business.
What's the business? What's the business? What's the business? What's the business? What's the business?
Sandwich in my pocket. Is that a tacit agreement? And that's the business. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? That's the business. How's everybody? Oh, hey, hey, Candy, Andrea, Risa, Switzerland, Sonia, welcome, welcome, Brittany B, welcome, 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 welcome. Well, tonight we're gonna do the Darrell Brooks intimidation fails. So I was gonna play a little bit of when he tried to postpone, I can't even talk, postpone his court hearings with pretending he had COVID. So we'll just see and read his body language and, you know, see how he was trying to dominate the court. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, here. All right, here we go.
Sir, state your name for the record, please.
I'm here as a third-party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept for value and return for value all the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in the charging instruments. Also, Your Honor, I would like to make an offer for my appeal, if I may.
So these are his demon horns. You can see it right here on the top of his head. They're already starting to form, his horns. As you notice, he's still twitching, sitting down, well, actually leaning over, which that is perfect posture for court, leaning over, twitching, like he, hey, Trish, welcome, welcome. Mimi, welcome. I said Risa, didn't I? If not, hey Risa. Anyway, you see him twitching like he on crack or something, and him in this jumpsuit. I mean, I guess he need to get used to it.
I'll get to that momentarily. The record will reflect that the individual known to this court to be Darrell Brooks is appearing in person in custody. We are, of course, outside the presence of the jury today. Since they are not here, we are dealing with some housekeeping type of issues and other legal matters. So he is appearing today in jail attire. He is in custody.
And look, a hot mess.
And it's my understanding, Mr. Brooks, that you were offered to appear in the suit, but chose to come to court in jail attire, which is fine. We're not in the presence of the jury. I just wanted to make a record of that.
We don't consent or identify by the name that you stated earlier. I want the record to reflect that, if I may.
So remember, I told y'all about the sovereign citizen nonsense about the straw man and the flesh and blood human man. So he's saying that that's the straw man because his name is written in all caps in the case caption. So that's the straw man, not the human man, which is this dumbass. Let's continue.
The record will reflect. Thank you. All right, I know there was some filings and I want to make sure the parties have copies of everything. Mr. Brooks, I know there was an inmate communication form filed, I believe earlier this morning, requesting 6 subpoenas as soon as possible. I instructed my staff to make sure ample copies.
What is this? What is this? Like, do you have something more pressing to do? Does your head hurt? Are you sick? Are you about to puke? What is this? I think these are things that you probably want to listen to.
Of the subpoena forms were provided to you. I did receive verification that those were hand delivered.
But you know what? It's good that he is leaned over like this because he's going to be in this position for 1,000 years. They gonna like you in prison, babe. They gonna like you. They gonna like you.
Did you receive those, sir?
No, I did not.
We'll provide additional copies. Again, it's my understanding those were hand delivered to the jail and that the jail took care of that in the event that that latter part did not take place. Mr. Brooks, I believe you were requesting 6 subpoena forms. I'm going to have my clerk print out 10 so that you have ample copies. And when that is done and those are handed to you, I'll make a record of that.
Here it comes.
Will we address the inmate communication
Hey,
form I
Kayla.
sent about the
I have a number of issues I need to address, so yes, we'll get to that.
you don't believe that has that's an important issue that should be taken up?
So you see his face. You can tell what he's thinking just by his forehead and his eyes. Even though he has this this dirty diaper on his face, trying to cover up his ugliness, but we can still see it, sir.
Before we continue any further in the proceedings.
Every time.
I just want to make sure the state has a copy of what was forwarded first before we take that up.
Hey, sidekick. I think that's how I pronounce it. Tell me if I got it wrong. Hey, Gail.
Will
I,
they?
I'm not seeing it in the record yet, so I did a F5, so it'll refresh.
So the prosecution will receive a copy.
Look at his face. I mean, I just can't get past his face and his his body language and his tone of voice, it's just so disrespectful. It's just so ignorant. And look, let me tell y'all something. Darrell Brooks is the worst stereotype of Black people. He is loud, rude, disrespectful, ignorant, a serial criminal, a liar, a thug. Everything negative that people say about Black folks is Darrell or Darrell, whatever his name is, Brooks. I mean, just every negative stereotype you can think of is him. Multiple baby mamas, being single in a single parent household, all that thug culture, wanting to be a gangster, all of that. That's Darrell Brooks. It's embarrassing.
I believe one was printed now for them. It is in the record. And then I'm going to print off something as well.
Like I said, he getting used to being in that position. He going to be in that position a long time. He going to be in that position till Jesus come back on the mothership.
Respectfully, would like to state for the record and would like the record to reflect that
You're a douche.
I believe that this is an issue that should be addressed at this point before we
Sir,
go any
I'm
further.
preparing to do that.
Let him
I didn't say I
type.
wouldn't do that. So give me a minute. I have some documentation that I'd like to provide to the parties as well.
You ain't got nowhere to go.
Confirm with Attorney Opper that you have now received a copy of that inmate communication form.
Yes, I have one in front of me, Judge. It's dated today's date, October 5, 2022.
I love Opera.
Yes, dated today because I just learned of the protocol that I would be on as of today.
Who gives a shit?
Oh, can you print the name? 2 copies, 1 for each party. All right, I'm going to provide a document to the parties. It's a 5-page document. It is a document that was forwarded to me at my request by Monica Paz, our clerk of court, after receiving the inmate communication form from Mr. Brooks requesting an adjournment. For the reasons stated in that document, I thought it important that we all have before us the current county protocol related to COVID-19.
So I know you heard what she said, that he submitted an ICF form asking to have the trial adjourned because he thinks that he might have COVID. Yeah.
And so this will be provided to the parties.
I'm inclined to accept that if I don't believe
Sir,
that
it will be placed on your table, but I will be referring to that today, so
Is
it's
it
been
law?
given to you.
Is it verified law?
Here he goes with this nonsense. Is it law? Is it verified law? It doesn't matter because you're not going to read it anyway. Whether it's verified law, where it's lawfully law, where it's some other version of law in your mind, admiralty law, just whatever the horns on top of your head tell you. It doesn't matter because you're not going to read it. Remember all them boxes? How many times we see him open up the boxes? Not many. How many things did he write down? He was too lazy to write down his questions for his own witnesses. He was too lazy to even read the summary of their statement before he called them on the stand after he ran over a latest child. Just, it's amazing.
Attorney Opper, do acknowledge that the COVID-19 illness reporting protocol was provided.
I respectfully object.
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor, I would like an answer to that question if I may. Because I have not consented to or agreed to accept any paperwork that.
Sir, it's been
It's not
provided
making-
to you. It's
So are you
something I'm going to
making-
consider. You don't want to
Are you
Read it.
making,
You
are
want to
making a
disregard it, that's
judicial-
your choice.
Are you making a judicial determination that you don't have to answer that question I just asked you, Your Honor?
Asked.
Mr. Brooks, the
We still
COVID-19
asking.
protocol has been placed in front of you. It is your choice whether you want to review it or not. Um,
And she's saying, don't whine to me, don't bitch at me about this protocol. We gave you the instructions that we are following pertaining to, the methods of COVID. I guess he don't remember, but there wasn't any quote unquote law regarding COVID, like nothing that was in a law book. Because remember, we saw all the Karens who was yelling about, I have a health issue and I can't breathe. I can't wear this mask for 5 minutes when I go in the store. So we didn't have like a law for COVID. He should know that. But there's a policy that the courthouse and private businesses had. That was their policy. So he's retarded. Uh-oh. He's retarded.
So
Hey-
my
Hey,
understanding,
Glenn.
just from the information Mr. Brooks has provided, which is part of the public record, is he is requesting an adjournment of all proceedings due to learning that he's on a COVID-19 protocol. I don't have any other information than that, sir. But based
He wasn't playing checkers. He was playing tic-tac-toe. He was playing tic-tac-toe.
upon you providing that information, again, I did grab, I was provided with the COVID-19 illness reporting protocol. I wanted to make sure that I had the most recent information that at least the county of Waukesha is operating under. I also verified with court staff that the location at which you are seated is not within 6 feet of any other individual in this courtroom. Is there any other information you think I should know as I consider your request for an adjournment today?
Yes,
Come on, get your
I
lies
find
straight.
it hard to believe that you couldn't consult with jail staff to verify the protocol, to verify that I was seen by nurses that
I don't have that
specifically-
information, sir, and let me be clear, cannot be provided to me under HIPAA. The only information I have is what you put in the inmate
and
communication form.
it could be verified because I was told when I was brought down here that everybody knew that I was on COVID protocol. That's why everybody
Because you
had.
advised us.
That's why because the jail advised them. That's why they had to wear.
Okay, and so what? It's not her fault that she doesn't know that you have on a COVID protocol. She found out because you told her. So who cares? Now you in court to discuss it, and now you want to complain. Well, I find it hard to believe. That's what he starts off with. I find it hard to believe that you couldn't verify that of the protocol that I was on. Boy, bye.
Mask to bring me down. That's why I'm essentially on a protocol that doesn't allow me out of my cell until my results come back.
Lies.
So I'm not allowed out of my cell at the moment because of the protocol that the nurse himself placed me on, that the jail confirmed. That is very easy information.
Oh
to
yeah,
obtain.
I definitely need to play
Sir,
that.
I have
just like-
an attorney for the
Excuse me,
county
Your Honor.
here
I
who
don't-
will
I don't wanna-
verify
I
that
don't
none
want
of
you to
that
think I'm trying to
information
argue
has
with
been
you, Your Honor.
provided to me due to
I don't-
HIPAA.
I don't want you to think
requirements.
I'm arguing.
So I'm not
But I-
arguing it with you,
I
sir,
know. I
one
just
bit.
want you to know that I'm not arguing with you either. But I was right in the middle of finishing what I was saying.
So I need to stop you.
Bruh, you are a nobody. I don't understand why you believe that people have to stop what they're doing. They have to address you in a certain way. You are nothing. You are a nobody. You are going to be somebody's butt buddy very shortly. If you hadn't been somebody's butt buddy already, I got questions.
for a minute, Mr. Brooks,
I don't
because
consent to that, Your Honor, because
you don't have to consent,
I
but here
don't
we go.
consent or
Let
agree to
me,
being cut off right when I'm trying
all right,
to
I'm just
provide
gonna
the
talk
court with
over him for a
information.
minute. I do not have any other information regarding the COVID-19 protocol, meaning anything specific about you, Mr. Brooks, other than what was put in the inmate communication, which reads, due to just learning I'm on COVID-19 protocol, I respectfully ask for all proceedings to be adjourned at this time, which is why I asked you if there was any other information you wanted to provide me as I consider your request, because the jail has not provided me with any specific information regarding the reason you were placed on protocol, whether you were exposed, whether you are showing symptoms. They cannot provide me with that information absent you giving them permission by signing an applicable authorization to do that. Without that, I have to rely upon you to provide that information to me if you so choose.
That is incorrect, because just yesterday you were trying to obtain the witness list that was in my cell. You had no problem whatsoever having the JA come down here to have me verify that they can go in my cell and search for that. So I find it very hard to believe that you can't consult with jail staff for them to tell you what is going on in my situation, where they know that I've just been seen by a nurse that placed me on this protocol for having a loss of taste.
Come on, get your lies right.
Fatigue.
Uh-huh.
And I have to wait for the results of my test. And until then, I am on a protocol which restricts me to my cell. That is very easy information to obtain that information, but can obtain a way to communicate with jail staff when there's a witness list involved. We're talking about someone's health that can affect not just you, but anybody else. Not just officers, but also inmates. We're talking about health when we're talking about safety. That has a lot of merit. And frankly, Your Honor, I'm afraid. I'm fully vaccinated, and I've never had COVID. I don't know what I'm looking at here.
He's afraid, y'all. He's afraid. Oh, he's scared. And it's a matter of health and protecting people. But where was the concern when you ran over all them people? I don't understand. What was your concern then? But since it's him and these Nosferatu nails, then it's we need to address it quickly.
That was the last thing I was hoping I would be told today, Your Honor.
I'm terrified for my life
right now.
They want me dead.
I'm not feeling well. I don't know what's going on with myself. That's the reason why I put in the sick call slip initially. I had been telling officers for days that I hadn't been feeling well, but I didn't know what it was. But I felt that I had to put in the sick call slip because I was not able to taste anything. That is the reason why I was seen by nurses. That is the reason why the COVID test was administered, and that's why I'm on the protocol as we speak.
Are you willing to discuss with me what tests were done? Again, I cannot obtain that information on my own.
I'm not a nurse, Your Honor. I don't know the name of the test. Like I said, I've never had this happen.
Clarify that was a pretty ambiguous question.
Yeah, he's concerned. He's a concerned citizen. Yes.
You reported symptoms as that's what you're telling me, right?
Correct.
And you're saying some tests were done?
I mean, that it's obvious. I mean, why can't
it's obvious.
Verify with the nurse?
I have to verify.
How is it obvious unless she was there with you when the test was done? How is it obvious? I mean, you always have this diaper on your face. You always look terrible. Your nails are always fucked up. So how is it obvious unless you tell us?
Verify it with you. The nurse will not provide me with this information.
But the jail can, because they control the movement. They control all inmate movement. I can't just go from my cell to a HSU.
Inmate movement is not the issue at the
It's
moment.
not, but I'm saying, how can I tell you? How can
What?
I answer what you're asking me?
What?
It doesn't make sense.
Wait, did she just ask him, did you take a test, or what type of test was administered? Was that the question? So if that was the question, why can't he answer the question? Instead of giving us verbal diarrhea, why can't you just answer the question? What type of test did you have? Did you take a test? What type? Was it a nasal test?
We all understand that the jail itself controls the movement of the inmates. That's common sense, Your Honor.
I'm not here to talk
I
about
can't- I
inmate
can't
movement
just-
at the
I can't
moment. What
just
I'm
walk to
asking
the
you is,
HSU.
do you believe you were tested for COVID?
I obviously was tested for COVID. I would not be on the protocol if I was not.
Again, how would she know?
Do you know
The
what
nurses-
type of test? Was it an oral swab, a nasal swab?
It was a nasal swab.
All right. Do you know when the results of that test will be back?
From my understanding, Friday.
Lies.
That's what I was told by the doctors. I would have to be at least
Hey,
on
God,
this
mama.
protocol until the results come back, which
Were you-
he said the earliest would be Friday.
Were you offered a rapid test?
They said they do not do the rapid test.
So the question was, were you offered a rapid test? The answer should have been yes or no. But you notice that he always does this. He will never answer a question directly. It's always some wrangling, word wrangling, stupidity, word vomit that he always spews out because he likes to hear himself talk.
So you weren't offered a rapid test?
They said they don't do them.
If one can be obtained, are you willing to submit to a rapid test?
I'm not willing to submit to anything right now until we take care of the issues that's at hand. I mean, I've already been placed on the protocol. I'm very afraid right now
He's very afraid.
because I don't know what's going on. This is new to me. Like I said, I'm fully vaccinated, Your Honor. I've been fully vaccinated since 2021.
Okay.
And so for this to just be sprung on me now to say this could possibly be a COVID thing, I've had people close to me that have passed away from COVID. I'm afraid as hell, Your Honor. That's the reason why I submitted the ICF.
He's scared as hell.
I was thinking at least until I can get the results at bare minimum.
So he needs time to get the results. Now, I think today is Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So he wants to have this trial postponed till they get the results, minimum. So we're going to keep on trying to get this trial adjourned and push back and push back and push back. All of those sovereign citizen tactics are just to delay and to be as disruptive and annoying as possible in order to get the trial delayed or adjourned. He's trying to get a mistrial, or he's trying to, cause as much confusion as possible for the judge and the prosecution to act up, so he'll have grounds for his appeal.
I don't think I'm asking something that's
Sir,
impossible for
Oh, it was a
I can make
Thursday. Okay.
arrangements to have a rapid test brought to you and administered, are you willing to submit to that test?
Not at this time.
Why not?
Not at this time.
Why not?
Why can't I?
Look at Judge Darrell. Why not? Why not? She is kind of petty sometimes, and I enjoy Judge Darrell's pettiness.
I get the results for the test I already took.
But you're telling me you're scared? You're
Yes,
fearful?
I am.
But you don't want to take a test that might tell you today?
I took the test that he gave me.
And you're telling me that test result won't be available to you until at least Friday.
At least Friday. That's what I was told.
Tomorrow.
I was told.
Okay,
that I would be
you're
placed
right.
on this protocol.
This was Thursday.
Until the results came back. The earliest that the results would be back would be Friday.
Okay, so him saying the earliest it'll be back is Friday, but it could be back later. So he's banking on the later. you remember he did this when it was time to um, call his witnesses, and he would, fuss and complain and talk about other stuff in order to postpone having his witnesses. When he was trying to have his defense witnesses over multiple days, he didn't want to have all of them on one day. So he was trying to, prolong it as much as possible. And remember, he was mad because the prosecution didn't have cross examinations for majority of the witnesses. So anyway,
So that sounds like, to me, I think that's what they call a PCR test.
I have no idea, Your Honor.
She
I have
wasn't
no idea
asking
what it's
you.
called. Like
Let
I
me
said,
ask
I've
you-
never had COVID. I don't know the test names. I don't know what they call them.
I'm generally familiar with some of the testing for COVID. There are tests that can be what we call rapid tests, or what are called rapid tests, that are available. And then there's these other tests which take a few days. It's, again, I'm not a scientist, but I think the general belief would be sometimes the rapid tests are accurate, sometimes they're not. Sometimes people test negative when they're really positive. It just kind of depends on the circumstances. But it's my understanding a positive test would be pretty accurate. And then there's other tests that take a few days for the results to come back. It really depends on the lab that's being utilized, etc. I'm
Well,
asking
why is
you
he shaking his
again, if a
head?
rapid test can be obtained. Are you willing to take a rapid test?
How would that be obtained?
What?
Be obtained.
I would
was
work
told.
with.
I can only go by what was told to me, because when I was brought in there and they told me that they had to test me for COVID, I was immediately like, what do you mean you have to even test me for this?
You said that you had lost the sense of taste, you had fatigue. Apparently, you had looked up all the symptoms of COVID, and that's where you went. You went and said, I think I may have COVID. That's why there was, why they tested you for COVID. And COVID was going around real heavy in the jail. So, yeah, that's why. That's not rocket science. I mean, it's obvious.
What is this about?
Well,
I had
didn't
a
you
lieutenant.
report symptoms to them?
Excuse me, Your Honor,
Thank
I
you,
had
see?
a lieutenant and 2 officers present when I was asking all these questions.
Okay.
Why do I need? What's going on with this? Why is this? Why is this? Why is that? Because I didn't understand. Immediately in my head, I started to get afraid when they said they had to even test for COVID.
So were you reporting being sick and symptoms prior to them asking you to test?
Yes, I've told multiple officers. I didn't know what it was at first.
Okay, so you reported symptoms, stupid bitch. That's why you got tested for COVID. Oh, he make me so angry.
Because it started with fatigue, with me feeling very fatigued. And I said, man, I don't know if it's just me being tired, or that's what I initially thought it was. Maybe I'm just a little exhausted. But I said, no.
Yeah, you exhausted for having your ass pounded in the booty house.
Anybody knows their body. I said, this got to be something more, because I'm really, 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 I don't even have an appetite. Then when I'm trying to eat, I can't taste anything.
Okay.
That's what said, okay, now I need to put the medical sick
When did
card
you
slip
report these symptoms to the medical people, or to even just a correctional officer?
in. A few days ago.
Oh, a few days ago.
Over the weekend is when I started to notice the fatigue. So I was telling officers, man, I don't feel good.
So over the weekend, so we'll be generous and say Sunday. So you need 5 days. So we got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's 5 freaking days, sir. This is a waste of time.
I don't know if it's just I'm tired. Usually I don't just jump the gun and say something's wrong, because it could be anything. So
when did you report the loss of taste?
I reported the loss of taste last night.
Oh, last night.
And was it after that they told you they wanted to test you?
No, they didn't tell me till this morning that they wanted to test me.
What? Huh?
What other symptoms are you?
Wait a minute. So you took a test already. It's going to take 5 days. You just reported the sense of the loss of taste yesterday. I'm so confused right now. I'm so confused.
Reporting at this time.
That was it so far, just the fatigue and the loss of taste. Which is the reason why I was told that I had to take the test.
Oh.
Which I was told at that time also
Huh.
that the earliest my results would be back would be Friday.
Be Friday.
And you said at this point you're not willing to take a rapid test.
Well, they said this is the test that they do. The nurse was very clear in what he was telling me.
The question is, are you willing to take a rapid test? Again, that requires yes or no.
When he told me how the test, because like I said, there was a lieutenant and 2 officers right there.
And
while the whole thing was going on.
And
I understand all of that. I have a very specific question to you, sir.
I was asking them questions, and he specifically told me that this jail, this is the test that they do. They do not do rapid tests.
Oh.
I didn't even ask about the test because I know nothing about the test. This is what I was told.
It's a lot you don't know.
And after he told me that, I said, okay, fine, just do the test and I'll just sit on the protocol, because at first when he told me, you know, you're going to have to be on a protocol where you're isolated. I said, okay, fine, just do the test. I'd rather you do the test and make sure that I'm healthy than to just refuse the test and just say, I'll just wait for it to see if I get better or something like that. So I said, yeah, just go ahead. And that's what I was informed.
That is so wonderful that he is so concerned about his health and well-being. And it's so wonderful that he is looking out for everybody in the courtroom. He's looking out for the public. He's looking out for the jail. But I thought that he had, he was in protective custody anyway. I thought that he was isolated to his cell anyway, because some white boys would get a hold to him and take him down through there.
Friday would be the earliest that I would get the results back, and I would be placed on a protocol which is called isolation, where I'm not allowed out of my cell.
Anything else, sir, you think I need to know about this issue as I consider your request?
No, at this time, I'm just telling you what I know. Multiple officers were there. They can tell you the same thing that I'm telling you now. Like I said, Lieutenant Chamberlain was there. 2 officers were there.
Any objection if I talk to any of them to confirm what you're saying?
Absolutely not.
Any objection if I need to ask the jail administrator about, or anyone else at the jail about, the protocols and what's available for
Hey,
testing?
Deb, how you doing?
Given any information about whether anyone else in the facility is experiencing COVID right now?
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know who. I'm in the mental health medical pod as it is.
He's in the mental health medical pod. That's where he's housed. So he's by himself. He is in segregation. So I'm confused about this whole conversation right now. It don't make sense to me.
So no information's been provided to you that there's like either a lockdown or some type of a restriction due to any like concern over COVID at this time?
I would never have that information, because like I said, I'm limited in the pod that I'm in. I'd have no interaction with any other inmates.
See? Interaction with none of the inmates. Oh, Lord, but he's so scared and concerned, and he don't have interaction with the inmates anyway. So it doesn't even matter what type of protocol he's on because he is segregated from everybody. You see, anything to stall and delay the inevitable. But you know what? If I had 1,300 years that I was potentially could be facing, I probably would pull this type of shit too. Hey, Vicky. Thank you, Sonia. He wasn't afraid to plow down these people.
And my interaction with staff is pretty limited.
See?
All right, thank you. I appreciate that additional information. I know, sir, what I've provided to you is generally the, for employees, I fully recognize that the jail may have different protocols just because of it being in a correctional facility, and inmates are, of course, or can be very close to one another. And so I don't want to presume that this is exactly what they follow. And so I'd like for them to tell me what their protocols are as I consider this request. At the moment, I told you this earlier, you're not within 6 feet of anyone else in this courtroom. And I believe that provides ample protection for the other people in this courtroom. As I consider this request, you've provided
Thank you, Sharon.
information to the court. You've been able to tell me the symptoms that you are reporting, your understanding of the protocols.
Thank you, Deb.
Despite you reporting fatigue, I don't know if you're standing or sitting on the chair. I can't quite tell. It appears like you're standing, but maybe leaning over the table.
He's assuming the position. He's assuming the position.
Oh, knee on the chair. Okay, but you've been able to very clearly, coherently make your position known to the court at this time, and I appreciate that. Let me ask Attorney Opper if there's anything you would want to provide or state at this time regarding this request.
Yes, Your Honor, a couple of things. Number one, we believe this is nothing more than a further delay tactic by Mr. Brooks.
Correct.
I can advise the court as an officer of the court and as an offer of proof that he is.
I hate her hair. I would love to give her a makeover. I could do some magic with this, but I hate her hair. It's always like this. I hate her hair. It just really bothers. Oh, she married too. But anyway, she really bothers me with this hair. It's annoying to me. I don't expect her to, have a full blowout and have her face beat, but we can do better than this.
How could that even
Opper interrupt you when you were talking?
Well, I respectfully object to
You
that.
can object, your objection's noted, but you need to let her state what she needs to state. I will give you an opportunity to respond. I'd encourage you to use paper and a pen to write down. That's the rules of decorum in the courtroom, sir.
Mm-hmm.
We generally avoid interrupting one another so that, number one, the record can be clear.
I'll be right back.
I
think I got to get my munchkin.
Because that is a sign that we all understand that this is a place of dignity. It is a place of respect. It demonstrates that, frankly, a willingness on the participants to conduct themselves appropriately. It avoids creating disorder or disruption. So I will give you an opportunity to respond, but you need to give Attorney Opper an opportunity without interruption. Go ahead, Attorney Opper.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, again, we believe this is a delay tactic in line with the defendant's behavior since about the August 25th or 26th motion hearing. I can advise the court as an officer of the court that Mr. Brooks has been saying for the last several weeks in his recorded jail calls to his mother and others that he's going to get this trial delayed or adjourned or pushed back. This behavior, again, on the 11th hour is 100% consistent with that. I believe that if the court wanted more information from the jail administrator. She is present and could provide that information. I believe Mr. Brooks has waived any HIPAA privacy rights he may have in that regard and indicated that to the court. And also, I believe she would be able to provide information if the court ordered her to do so. I believe that even if he is on COVID protocol, it will have zero impact on his ability to prepare for this case. As we've learned already, and I'm prepared to make a further record, he has all of his discovery materials within the confines of his jail cell.
Uh-oh.
He has a tablet made available to him
Uh-oh.
in the confines of his own jail cell.
Uh-oh.
And he has the ability to use a conference room in his pod. I don't believe the COVID protocol would interfere with his ability to access that conference room whatsoever.
Y'all remember when he was being very obtuse? He was being very obtuse about the subpoenas. Paisley, get back down here. Paisley. I'm so sick of him. Anyway, he'll just be sitting on the steps. Anyway, so you remember when he was saying didn't want to cooperate with the subpoenas, and the state was trying to, do the subpoenas for him, and the judge said, hey, if you want to be responsible for getting these people here, you can. He's like, well, how am I supposed to do that? Nobody's going to accept a collect call from somebody they don't know. So that was very disingenuous statement, because he has access to a phone in the conference room.
But again, I could verify that with the jail administrator if the court thinks that's an appropriate fact. The fact that he claims to have started reporting symptoms as far back as the weekend, we're probably right up against the 5 days right now. If he started this on Saturday, which I don't believe there's any record of, we're at 5 days right now. And certainly the court's offer to...
I never once said...
Mr. Brooks,
I never
have
said
an
I
opportunity
never, no,
momentarily.
No,
You
I
need to stay
respectfully
quiet.
object to that, because that has no merit.
Mr. Brooks,
have
it's not
She's
your
saying,
time
no,
to speak.
No, I respectfully object. I never reported saying what day. I never said.
I'm not gonna play that
day.
anyway, Sharon.
And if she's saying she has jail phone calls, well, why aren't they present? Why can't they be verified by sworn affidavit and brought into this court?
Who the hell is going to do that? A sworn affidavit on a jail phone call? Who's going to do that, sir? For you, who's going to do that?
To be shown that this is a delay tactic, as you say it is. How come it can't be shown by sworn affidavit?
Boy, bye.
Can you provide proof of that?
All right, Mr. Brooks, I've given you a little bit of leeway
just like you're
because we
saying
are outside the
that I've
presence
waived
of the
something.
jury.
I haven't given consent to waive anything. I've simply told the judge that I had no issue with her verifying with the jail that this protocol is in effect, and that I was in effect tested for COVID-19. So
you've given consent then? That's what it sounds like to me. You gave consent. Gosh. I mean, he would argue with his own shadow.
How could that be a delay tactic? If that was a delay tactic, why would I even need to be tested and placed on the protocol? Why does everybody have to have on masks to bring me down here?
Because you probably stink.
All right, Mr. Brooks,
I've given verification?
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to warn you now that you have interrupted a couple of times.
A couple.
You interrupted Attorney Opper
I have to
twice.
be able to speak up.
You're
Your
now
Honor.
interrupting me yet again. We all were polite and had you provide
that was
information.
Not polite. That was abuse.
That's the interruption of this court.
That was abuse by the prosecution.
It was abuse. Well, you would know about abuse, wouldn't you? You would know very, very well about abuse, since you've abused your baby mamas. That's why none of your baby mamas came to speak on your behalf at the sentencing. You notice that? None of his baby mamas spoke on his behalf at the sentencing. Even his mama, all she could do was recite a Black History Month poem while the caged bird sings. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
It was abuse.
It's abuse.
Brooks, let me finish.
No, because
No.
So he's outright refusing to listen.
I would
He's
not sit
outright
here.
talking over me
I didn't
at the
refuse
moment.
anything. I didn't refuse
Mr.
anything.
Brooks, we are at the
I'm
point
not gonna,
yet
I'm
again
not gonna,
He is so
I'm not
where
gonna
I
sit-
will put you in the other courtroom because
and
you
I
are
don't
not
consent. I don't
able.
consent to being removed. I have not waived the right to be present, and I don't agree with that.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Brooks,
Does the
I
record
have
reflect?
provided you on multiple occasions and it's should be in front of you.
No,
and
I
if
don't.
not,
I don't acknowledge that.
He said he don't acknowledge. What? Thank you, Monica. I say he got Nosferatu nails, and his name need to be French tips. I don't know what's up with his nails, but at least they're not dirty. I mean, we can give him that. They kind of clean.
I haven't agreed to it.
you have been
and I
advised
haven't
on
given
multiple
consent to it.
occasions that you need to abide by the standards of courtesy and decorum for the courts of Wisconsin. Because you are a litigant, you're
bitch.
both a named defendant. You are now acting as your own attorney by
I'm not a named
representing
defendant.
yourself.
I don't recognize the name
That all of the
this
rules
state
of courtesy and
put on
decorum
their
apply to
complaint. I don't
you.
recognize that name, Your Honor. That is
Supreme
not who
Court
I am.
Rule 6.
So again, he's doing that sovereign citizen BS, but that's not my name, the way that the state has it written, because on the case caption, it's all in caps. That's all that they're talking about. Since the first thing he told the truth. Oh yeah, he's never acknowledged the law, and he's too stupid to actually read it. Like, I don't understand. And I always say this in every live stream. You got 1,000 years. That's what you are advised, that is the time that you can get if you're convicted, and that's the penalty, is 6 consecutive or concurrent life sentences, and then you have all of these years plus 5-year enhancer, and that equals to like 1,000, 1,300 something, which is around to 1,400 years. Being so ignorant and narcissistic that you think that you can come in and just make up shit, just wing it, just come in there and not prepare for anything. You don't write anything down. You have this sense of entitlement, and you got 1,400 years. 1,400. Like, are you kidding me? I just don't understand this. I will never understand this. That's why I'm so fascinated by it. I don't understand. I just seek to understand.
62.02 details many of the requirements for courtesy and decorum. I've referenced a couple of them on multiple occasions, including that sub 1, sub F of 62.02, that proper conduct and attire is expected within the courthouse, and where.
Look at this bitch. He can't even be bothered to listen. He cannot be bothered to listen. He just in his position, in his booty house position, and rubbing his horns and trying to, I wonder when he do all this twitching and wiggling, he smells his own breath, and he's trying to, maneuver the mask without taking it off so he can, expel that so he doesn't smell it. That's what I think that he's doing with all this twitching, running the itchy and scratchy show.
Where possible, individuals, including
thank
yourself,
you, Sonia,
to refrain.
I appreciate you.
Disorder and disruption. Sub H, you're supposed to conduct yourself in a manner which demonstrates sensitivity.
And make sure that you guys are smashing that like button, and please share and subscribe. Thank you.
To the necessity of preserving decorum and integrity of the judicial process. You have been advised multiple times, sir, of the expectation that this court has that you conduct yourself in a civil manner. You've been advised multiple times that this court will not tolerate disruptions, interruptions,
Hey, Lakeisha.
that when you do that, you run the risk of forfeiting your right to be present in the courtroom. As you know, I have available the courtroom next door that's connected to the holding area. It is connected by audio and visual means. It provides you an opportunity to meaningfully participate by also giving the court the opportunity to control the decorum, to control the disruptive behavior, because primarily your disruptive behavior is repeated interruptions of this court, talking over this court, now talking over the prosecutor. I appreciate that you have not interrupted me for quite some time. So at this point, though, I need to warn you.
Judge Darrell has to give him a gold star on his homework and kiss his forehead because he's been quiet for a couple of minutes. So we have to, give him a participation trophy and tell him you're doing so great. You are a winner. And it doesn't matter if you win or lose, but that you played the game.
That further interruptions
Hey,
may
Lurker.
very well result in you being removed to the other courtroom where you would participate by audiovisual means. At this time, I would like to hear from the court administrator, especially as it relates to the protocol.
Yeah, I'm not going to play the jail administrator because it's boring. But basically, dude was offered, he declined a rapid test. And a lot of the questions she couldn't answer. Oh, thank you, Monica. I thank you so much. Appreciate you. Kisses and kisses and kisses. Anyway, she said that he was offered a rapid test and he refused it. So anything else, that's pretty much all that was there. Let me see if he's fussing because I don't care about the jail administrator. And then we're going to move on to something else. Oh, Lord, he looked high. I didn't mean to do that, but that's not a bad picture, though. If anybody want a screenshot of that.
To verify why I would need to take 2 tests for the same symptoms.
Huh?
I'm not sure I understand the question, sir. I think.
Look at Opera. Look at Opera trying to refrain from laughing.
The nurse who administered the test.
The nurse isn't here, though. This is jail administrator Wallenhaupt.
And that's why it's hard for me to wrap my head around why Mrs. Wallenhoff would be called to testify when she was not present. I think the wrong person is testifying.
Do you have any other questions for her?
I
I understand what you're saying. Do you have any other questions for her, though?
Are you sure you're wrapping your head around what I'm saying?
Are you sure you're wrapping your head around what I'm saying, Your Honor? Man, listen. That couldn't have been me. I would have called him so many names. I probably would have kicked him out the courtroom immediately. I'm just like, oh, no, the hell you didn't. I know the hell you didn't. You trying to get smart with me and you're on trial for killing 6 people. I know the hell you say. You got me confused.
Do you have any other questions for this witness?
To your knowledge, you just said that you have a rapid test available right now. When did that become available? Because I was told otherwise.
I know there is a rapid test available right now. As I stated before, it is my understanding that you were offered a rapid test and you refused.
So why was I not offered a rapid test from the get-go?
Apparently, you were offered a rapid test and you refused the rapid test from the get-go.
Objection, relevance.
If she knows, she may answer.
I do not know the answer to that. I have not reviewed the medical record, jail contracts with the medical provider.
Thank you. Next question, if you have one.
So there are more than one type of COVID test administered by this jail.
Clearly.
Again, the jail contracts, Judge, I prefer not to answer that. The jail contracts with a medical provider. I do not direct testing for medical conditions. That would be our medical contract.
I believe the record's clear that a rapid test was offered. It was declined by Mr. Brooks. The record's also clear that he did submit.
Your Honor.
He did submit to a test, but this witness is not able to answer whether that was a rapid or not, given her role in the Waukesha County Jail as the administrator and not in charge of medical. I will find she does not need to answer that question because it's outside her scope. And
because
I don't care about any of that.
I'm not a witness in this.
I
make the determination
The reason why
ultimately.
I was looking at Your Honor is because
Do you have another question
I'm
for
still trying
Jail
to figure out
Administrator
how-
Wallenhaupt?
I thought testimony was supposed to be the prosecution and the defense's
Questions?
time to
Sir,
ask
do you
questions.
have another question? Otherwise, I'm going to ask the state if they have any more for this witness.
I asked the question: Would it be fair to say that it's speculative
Wait a minute. He said speculative. Hold on. Let me see. I'm at 4753. He said speculative. I didn't know that was a word. Speculative.
Would it be fair to say that it's speculative about?
Oh, it's speculative. It's speculative. Okay. All right. Speculative. So y'all got another word that he's mangled. Speculative.
What the second test actually was?
What?
Mr. Brooks, I don't understand your question.
No one understands this question.
Understand about it. If you were offered a test,
Objection, relevance.
it's a question.
Hold on.
I'm
You're
getting
asking
I'm
a
going somewhere.
I'll let you get the question out, but I would just note you're asking her a hypothetical that, given her role, she might not be qualified to answer. But you can go ahead and ask it.
Well, it's not hypothetical. It's very logical. If you were offered a test and you took it, why would you need to essentially take another test that could have been done right from the beginning? If there would be any issues, if there would be
Right, Mr. Brooks, it's not relevant what she would do. So that's essentially an argumentative question, and it's not relevant. So sit down. You're done asking questions because you've now
is that
asked.
a judicial determination?
I haven't made a judicial determination yet.
You're
Go ahead,
practicing
Attorney
law from the
Opper.
bench by being able to ask
Mr.
certain
Brooks.
questions of yourself.
Mr. Brooks, okay, here's your warning. I'm giving Attorney Opper an opportunity
So
to
you're
ask this
practicing law from
witness
the bench.
questions, and if you interrupt her, you will be removed to the next courtroom.
I don't consent to being removed to the next courtroom. I don't consent to even being at these proceedings if I'm not able to put on a proper defense, which is my constitutional right to be able to do so. I haven't agreed to any contracts. I haven't consented to any contracts, and I have
Your
not
objection
consented-
is noted. Attorney Opper, go ahead.
I have not consented
Thank you.
to
Ms.
an
Wallenhaupt.
estoppel.
So contracts is not criminal. Contracts is civil. So of course you haven't agreed to any contracts because there's no contracts to agree to. But sovereign citizens believe that once they agree to anything, that you have made some sort of contract, or as he likes to put it, a tacit agreement.
Although Mr. Brooks is under a COVID protocol, is he still allowed to review his discovery materials in his jail cell?
Yes.
Jay, for relevancy.
To your knowledge.
Oh,
are
relevancy.
those materials?
The objection overruled.
I'm sorry. To your knowledge, if you know, are his discovery materials currently in his jail cell?
Yes, ma'am, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Is
he still
able?
able-
To that, Your Honor. I'm not allowed
Sir,
to
her
keep.
answer stands. There's no question to which to
I
object.
object to that. There is.
you can't testify at the moment. If you want to provide further information after she is done testifying, I will give you that opportunity.
Will she?
Your
will she be
objection
able to-
is overruled.
Will she be able to stay right there so I can ask the question?
X.
It's not your time yet. You have to wait. So this is the final warning. Okay, I've given you a lot of leeway.
Shock him.
You have not, Your Honor. You haven't. No.
I
you
am
haven't.
turning to Attorney Opper. It is her opportunity, her turn
Shock him.
to ask this witness a question.
And it is my right to be able to object, just like she objected
And-
when I was asking
Right.
questions.
And when the court rules on an objection,
You shut the fuck
usually
up.
the party who objects stays silent.
I'm-
I rule on the objection.
And you shut the fuck
The
up.
parties don't debate the ruling. It's noted for appeal. And then we move on.
Then I would like to put you on notice that I will be appealing that judicial decision that you are making.
Nobody cares.
Attorney Opper.
No one cares.
Judicial determination.
Ms. Molenhoff.
that you are making.
While on COVID protocol, does Mr. Brooks have access to the tablets in his jail cell?
Yes, ma'am.
And that tablet has legal materials available for him to access if he so chooses. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And while he is on COVID protocol, does he have access to the conference room, which also contains a computer with further legal materials?
Yes, ma'am.
And nothing about the protocol would restrict his access to any of those materials. Is that correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And you've
I object to
indicated
that. I
previously.
object to that respectfully, Your Honor.
Oh, respectfully.
An objection goes to whether there's lots of rules of evidence that apply. But if you're objecting to her answer, that's a different thing. You can argue the meaning of that language.
question.
Okay,
not
the
the
objection,
answer.
but then you have to say objection before she answers. You
She
objected
didn't
after
answer.
she
She
answered.
didn't answer the last
The
question.
objection is noted, it's
Ah.
overruled, her answer may stand. Next question.
Ms. Wollenhop, you're aware that there has been digital discovery made available to Mr. Brooks for him to view in the Waukesha County Jail,
I
correct?
respectfully object to that.
Overruled, she may answer.
Correct.
He would view that digital discovery on the computer in the conference room in his pod,
I
correct?
respectfully object to that.
Oh, respectfully.
Overruled, you may answer.
Correct, ma'am.
And
So you're gonna
the proto-
overrule everything, Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, you have got to stop. It's fine if you object.
Miss
I will
Tanya.
rule on it as I deem appropriate under the rules of evidence, which, by the way, I provided a copy for you. See that big book over there?
No, I don't
It
see
has
it.
the criminal
I
statutes.
don't see
It has the traffic code. It
I
has the
don't see
rules
it.
of evidence. Well, it's on your table. It's
That-
behind the microphone and it's there. I've provided it to
Right
you as
here.
a courtesy.
Right here.
So that you have that
You did
available
not
to
provide
you.
anything to me.
Oh,
Right, I'm
Something
directing the
that-
bailiffs to
something
remove
that
them
may
to the
have-
other courtroom.
Right
I've
here.
provided ample opportunity for
I've
Mr.
never
Brooks to
taken
abide by the
anything-
simple
I've
rules
never
of
taken
decorum
anything,
and
Your Honor.
civility.
Your Honor, I don't
He is-
consent or agree to what you are doing.
Your lack of
don't give
consent is
consent.
noted for the
I
record.
don't give consent to an, I don't.
I'll
give
make a more
consent-
full record when we
I
are
don't give
open
consent
again to
a
the public.
estoppel. I don't give consent to be removed.
Madam
from
Reporter,
being
the
able
record
to
should
exercise
reflect
my
the court is
constitutional
stepping
right.
off the bench. You may step off.
I
if you
move,
want.
I move for a motion to dismiss. You still haven't even ruled on the claim. There's no one that even has a claim against me here.
oh. No one has a claim. Okay, let me see if I can find that video where I think that was trial day. Was it trial day 2 when they had the COVID reveal? Let me see. And Glenn, you know, because you was putting me on notice about oh hey coffee cake, you put me on notice about the day. Claim motherfucker, this isn't civil court. Correct. Okay, hold on. This guy should go away forever. Well, Miss Tanya, he is away forever. he's got about 1,300 years. So he's gone forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Let me see. COVID. Okay, here we go. Let me see. This is the whole thing. Why is this thing doing this? Hold on. Let me move. This is weird. Let me see here. He's heated over COVID protocol. COVID concerns on the jury. Adjournment request denied. Let's see. Is it upset? This is weird. And I'll show y'all the screen. This is doing something really weird. The one from law and yeah, if you got it, link it for me, because the one from law and crime, this is what I'm seeing. And so it looks like, you know, somebody's high. So it's weird. Well, we'll take an intermission until we get the link. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I think somebody sent it to me. Oh, no, that's something else. Well, let me go ahead and do an intermission.
How many times I gotta tell you bitches you can't fuck with me? How many times I gotta tell you hoes you look dusty? How many times I gotta tell you bitches you can't fuck with me? How many times I gotta tell you? How many times? How many times? How many times I gotta tell you these lines? How many times I gotta tell you he's mine? How many times I gotta tell you, bitch, back off, cause you look a mess. Yes, I'm blessed, never been stressed. My nigga take me to the Virgin Islands like, yes, bitch, cause that's what I gave him first. How you feel burnt like, whoa. How many times I gotta tell you, bitches, you can't fuck with me? How many times I gotta tell you, hoes, you is dust.
Toby, I don't see the link that was posted. Day 3 was COVID. Okay. Thank you, Coffee Cake. Day 3. Okay, y'all. Sorry. No, it can't be day 3 because he had on a suit on day 3. And he was he did the COVID thing on day 2. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I think y'all can't do links because y'all on mods. So let me make you a mod so you can post a link. So give me just 1 second here. Okay. Let's see. All right, go ahead and post the link now. Day 2. All right, give me just 1 second, y'all. Okay, give me just 1 second. Okay, give me a second. Y'all, forgive me. I'm kind of rusty. Oh, the family does everything? Okay. Okay, give me a second to get there. Let me go back here. YouTube is so annoying sometimes. Hold on, give me 1 second. Control C. Control V. How about I just do it this way? Okay, give me a second here. This is like annoying because when I try to click the link, it takes me back to my studio and it's, something went wrong. So let me just try it this way. Give me a second, y'all. I'm going to get it. Okay, here we go. All right, we got it. We got action. We got action. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And you said the 2 minute and 39. I appreciate you. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing some of Mushmouth. 2:39 mark. Okay, give me a second. Let me get there. I got too many tabs open. Okay, 2 minute 39. It is a little freak. Mm-hmm. You sure it starts at 2 minute 39? Because it's like it's over.
I didn't look at it yet. So
okay, hold on. Let me back it up a little bit.
I was made aware of my tip. I didn't look at it yet. So
Do you have it with you?
it is. It's in my paperwork somewhere.
All right, I need you to look at it and open it up.
Oh, law and crime? Okay, hold on.
Your test result was hand delivered.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, we got it. Trial day 2. Okay. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. All right. So it's 2 minutes and 30. Keep playing. You're good. Okay. Okay, hold on. Trying to get to the beginning. Okay, there we go. So I wonder what he's reading. You see that this book has not been moved or opened. He's got his little stupid Bible that nobody cares about. That's his little prop Bible. And then I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know if that's a napkin or just a random piece of paper or I don't know. But if he's reading something, the pages never move. But at least he's sitting down now and not, in his booty bandit position. Assume the position.
We are on the record. Calling State versus Brooks, 21 CF 1848. I have the state appearing by District Attorney Sue Opper, Deputy District Attorney Leslie Basie, Assistant District Attorney Zach Wichow, and I have the defendant Darrell Brooks appearing in person. I have the jurors coming in a little bit later today, but they usually come early, so I'm not sure if they're here. But I did want to make sure and ask if there's anything the parties wished me to address this morning. I don't believe there's been any new filings. I haven't seen any, but I did want to ask.
You making a mistake?
We would just like to make a record with regard to the concern Mr. Brooks had yesterday about the juror that he believed he recognized from his initial appearance that may have made some type of hand gesture to him. I did not, unfortunately, write down the juror number.
Okay, I don't care about this.
The only concern I would have, obviously, we may know that there's one.
I don't care about the juror.
Very clear record that your concern and whether one of the jurors on this.
I don't care.
And is not the person who made an inappropriate gesture to you either at or following that hearing.
Right.
All right. Then any other issues from the state?
Yes, Judge, just briefly, a few. From yesterday's testimony, we'd like to move into evidence Exhibit 1, which was the map. Exhibit 3, which was the video played during Corey Runkle's testimony. And Exhibit 5, which is the photograph of Erica Patterson. They were all testified to yesterday.
Any objection, Mr. Brooks?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. I guess it would be to the terms of relevancy. There's been no testimony from Ms. Patterson, so I'm just curious to know the relevancy of that being made evidence at this point in time, because from what was said yesterday was that she would be testifying at some point. Would it not be better to have that admitted then if she decides to testify instead of right now when we're not even sure if she is going to testify?
Bitch, she's going to testify, okay? She's going to testify twice because you want to call her and you want to blame her for all of your problems, all of your troubles, because it's her fault. It's Erica Patterson's fault. If it hadn't been for that bitch, you wouldn't have ran through the parade. It's all her fault. Right? It's all her fault.
Your objections are noted for the record. There was a proper foundation.
Yes, I saw that.
Regarding each one of these exhibits. They also are.
Yeah, so the lady that flipped him off, she was, I think, one of the family members, and she was sitting out in the gallery, but it was not a juror. But you can clearly see when he's being removed from the court that she flipped him off. But it was like an older white lady, from what I could tell, and she had like a striped turtleneck on. And she was like in the front or the second row, but she was on the end, and she clearly flipped him off. And I can't say that I blame her.
Relevant to the issues within this trial, and I'll admit exhibits 1, 3, and 5, and also advise the jury when they come back into court this morning.
Your Honor, I'm not interrupting, am I?
Oh.
Hold on, I'm not to you yet. If there are any issues, any other issues from the state.
Yes, Your Honor, I would just like the record to indicate that I understand we did not follow up with this after the lunch break on the record, but it was my understanding that Mr. Brooks did receive the medical attention that he was seeking over the lunch hour. So I just wanted that on the record.
It could have been one of the dancing
finally,
grannies.
Your Honor,
Oh, it's after Detective Guth? Okay.
just a reminder to Mr. Brooks as to the other acts evidence. In line with his questioning of Corey Runkle yesterday, Erica Patterson will be testifying here this morning. The court issued a ruling as to the other acts evidence.
Oh, it's the 2 hour 30. Okay.
Aware of I didn't look at it yet.
Okay, hold on. Let me rewind it a little bit. Okay, here we go. Yay. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm so rusty because I don't yeah, I got it. Thank you, Toby. Toby won. I'm so rusty with streaming because I used to stream every weekend, every Saturday night. And so then I took a break for like 6 months. And so I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. And I'm just like confused. And I just be hitting buttons and look, okay, that's what I thought. But I should have known it was 2 hours. I should have known 2 hours. I mean, clearly for the record, 2 hours and 39 minutes. I mean, I accept value in return for value. That link. Okay, how long is this shit gonna take? All right, there we go. Then I tell you, he looked like a terrorist. I still can't believe these are extensions. These shit locks are extensions. I just can't believe this. And this is just so bad. I mean, this angers me. All of this it angers me. You know what? If you look at this picture up close, it looks like he was crying when he took this mug shot. Does it seem like he was in tears? I think there's some tears here.
Before we bring the jury back out, so we are on the record.
Thank you, Glenn.
Mr. Brooks, I was provided with information that your test result was hand-delivered to you, folded. Did you receive that?
I was made aware of my I didn't look at it yet. So.
Do you have it with you?
It is. It's in my paperwork somewhere.
All right, I need you to locate it and open it up, please.
May I ask the reason why that would be?
Mr. Brooks, you raised this issue yourself, and I'd like to know the result.
I would too, but I was kind of in the middle of preparing for my defense. So
Mr. Brooks, find the piece of paper and open it up and read it, please.
Yeah, you prepared so well.
Being talked to in that fashion.
Your lack of consent is noted for the record.
Look at him.
Please find the piece of paper, open it up, and please read it.
I will not consent to that, Your Honor. Or do I agree to that, Your Honor? I do not.
Mr. Brooks, then I'm going to advise the Sheriff's Department to find the piece of paper and hand it to me so that I can read it. So that those are your two options.
What would be the basis for that, Your Honor?
Mr. Brooks, this is an issue that you raised, and I need to bring it to finality and know what the test result is.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
It was a motion that I raised.
All right, I'm going to clear the courtroom. We're going to go off the record, and we're going to find that piece of paper, and I'm going to address it when that's done.
It's too many breaks. It's really annoying. All right. This is why I like Mushmouth Joe's. This is why I like Mushmouth Joe's videos, because he cuts out all of this crap.
Recess so that the test result could be obtained, and if necessary, by reasonable force. It's my understanding there was some type of situation or altercation between Mr. Brooks and the deputies. Ultimately, though, I think he was taken into the bullpen. He was brought back out, but it was very clear to me that he was upset. I think understandably so, but I needed to make a record of what was being done. including that I have obtained the test result. So there's an accurate record in this case related to the motion that was raised previously by Mr. Brooks. I want Mr. Brooks to know that I am not removing him from when the jurors are brought back in. It was just simply because he was upset. He was very loud when I walked into the courtroom before going on back on the record. He was yelling about his constitutional rights being violated. I advised him that if there was any type of use of force that he wanted to complain about, he could certainly do that through the proper channels with the sheriff's department. But just given his state of agitation and my need to make a record, I had him taken to the other courtroom. He is currently muted. I do not intend to go forward with additional testimony. Ultimately, I'm going to take an early lunch break because of this, but I will make a record of the following. I have the result. I am going to scan it, have my clerk scan it. It will be filed as confidential, though. It won't be available to the public, but it's there for appellate purposes. But I can confirm that the test result for COVID-19 was negative. And again, I required the sheriff's department to provide that result to me, and it was, and it will remain under seal. I realize I'm disclosing that result, but I feel obligated to do that given the motion that was raised 2 days ago by
yes, Erica told me that he's going to do this bullshit again, representing himself. And I'm just like, so like it was successful this time. But, he really don't have nothing to lose anyway. So, you go ahead and represent yourself. And, he can continue to lie. And, I read, we had Master Bitch Theater last week. Yeah, it was last week when I read all of the conversations that they had when he was in jail for, trying to kill her. That time.
Brooks. Again, I intend to take an early lunch, so that will hopefully give Mr. Brooks an opportunity, if he so chooses, to review the result himself. It was put in front of him. I did see that he either shoved it or tossed it or just dismissed it. It looked like it went on the floor when it was put in front of him, but we'll certainly have the deputies give that to him again. During the recess for lunch, Mr. Brooks will also be given the opportunity to change into street clothes if he so chooses. But when we come back, he will be in this courtroom. I agree. Mr. Brooks was making a couple of statements about how he was abiding by the rules and being respectful, things of that nature. I agree. He's done an excellent job while in court here this morning. He's been
Thank you, Vicky Vale.
Rules. He made some early on. I let him, make his objections or lack of consent. He did that respectfully. When I said I was moving on, he generally was able to do that. We were able to get through 2 witnesses. He was able to follow along,
giving him a gold star and a kiss on the forehead to tell him that you are good for 10 minutes. That's how I do Paisley. Paisley act up, and I put him on timeout in his crate. And as long as he's not barking, I'll get him out in about 5 to 10 minutes. But if he starts barking, I start his time over. So, I do the same thing, but I have a puppy, not dealing with a 40-year-old bitch. Oh, and guess what? His birthday was yesterday. So he's now 41. Happy birthday!
Cogent, clear, responsive, and articulate objections. He was able to elicit information from the witnesses regarding either their memory, their credibility, and other things. Generally speaking, he's been able to competently represent himself.
Lies! He has not been able to competently represent himself. Lies.
Provide again, solid cross-examination this morning. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to hopefully settle back in and to come back here.
Look at this bitch. I don't want to cry. Don't want to cry. Nothing in the world could take us back to where we used to be. Oh, I'm giving you my heart and soul. Giving you my heart and soul. I must find a way of letting go. Cause baby, I don't want to cry.
When we return from lunch. So with that, we are in recess. Probably come back at 1 o'clock since it's only 11:30 and we'll take the full 90 minutes for lunch today. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
This bitch ass is a blood, y'all. He's a gangster. Oh, yeah, here. So he left. I'm trying to get to the reading the test results. Gosh, I get so sick of these breaks. How long they broke? Oh, then he's still upset.
All right, we are back on the record. It is 1:07 p.m. Appearances are as they were previously. Mr. Brooks is in the courtroom. He is in jail attire, as that is his choice. And I don't know if there's anything the state wants to address at this point before we continue with testimony.
No,
Just
thank
wanna
you.
check.
Oh, wait a minute. So we missed the test results, right? Where it was negative. Oh, well, who cares? That was the main issue, to see him cry. So let's move off of this. Yeah, when they jacked his ass up early the first time he was in Judge Darrell court. Oh yeah, that was funny too. That was one of the pre-trial. And that wasn't very long. Let me see. Though I'm giving you my heart and soul, I must find a way of letting go. Cause baby, I don't want to cry. I think this might be it here. Yep, this is it. Hold on. I got it. I got it. I got it.
About where I come from.
Mr. Brooks.
Push me, dog. Don't push back then.
Mr. Brooks.
Don't push back. Push me in.
Mr. Brooks, we have to continue with this hearing.
Outbursts from Darrell Brooks in court today. He was asked to leave his own hearing. He's the man charged with the deadly Waukesha Christmas parade attack.
It happened just hours after he fell asleep.
I don't want to hear y'all talk. Okay, here we go. Let's get this. I don't want to hear y'all mouth.
a.m. District Attorney Sue Opper alerts the court that Brooks is sleeping.
I don't know if he's just being disrespectful, uninterested, or if he's not feeling well.
His attorney talks with him. Then, returning from a short break, Brooks appears agitated, talking and looking behind him. Sheriff's deputies come stand around him and hold his chair. That's when courtroom audio is turned back on.
Mr. Brooks, the live stream is on.
I don't care about no live stream. Just like y'all don't care. Sit up here, act like you know me. People like you don't. Y'all don't know nothing about where I come from.
Mr. Brooks.
It continues to escalate.
Don't put your hand on me, dude.
Nobody put their hands on you.
Yeah, they better not put their hand on me.
Okay, Mr. Brooks, you need to look at me for a minute, okay?
Why? To listen to all this political stuff y'all got going on?
Mr. Brooks, I'm more concerned about.
Don't touch me, dog. They see it.
Now, he needs to be here. He's not cooperating. I'm going to give you the warning,
Nobody
Mr.
care about nothing else.
I will give you
Nobody.
the warning.
Deputies are ordered to escort him out. Brooks was allowed back in after
Get your
lunch,
ass out.
but it wasn't long before he wanted to leave.
Mr. Brooks respectfully requests to be excused from this hearing.
After discussion, the DA, attorneys, and judge agreed it is within his rights to voluntarily leave his own pretrial hearing. While Brooks' behavior was a main focus, some important decisions were made regarding his murder trial in October. The judge ruling in favor of the prosecution, denying the defense team's motions to suppress some evidence, including the first police interviews with.
Okay, that's all we needed to see. Oh, shocking. Thank you so much, China. Okay, so I am going to play Mushmouth. Oh, yes. And so I'm going to play the cross-examination of one of the parents. And I can't remember the guy's name, but if you see him, y'all will recognize him. But this is under the heading of intimidation fail.
Where you and your family were at this moment in time?
Objection. I thought it was being played till 19 seconds.
Your objection is noted. It's overruled. Go ahead, sir.
Could we show for the witness only Exhibit 27, please? Do you see a video on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna play a few seconds and let you recognize it. So you recognize that video?
Yes.
What does it show?
Looks like the SUV right after it ran into my kids.
Is that video an accurate depiction of how you saw the events unfold that afternoon?
Yes.
Move Exhibit 27 into evidence and ask to publish.
Objection. Hearsay.
Exhibit
Hearsay. So my thing is this: watching him, they're playing these videos of him running people over, or you hear people screaming, and he has no reaction. He has absolutely no reaction whatsoever. It's like he has a hole in his soul that he can look at this and listen to these people scream and have no emotion at all. Like he does not give a flying damn about these people that he killed.
27 is received permission to publish is granted.
We'll play this once all the way through. It's 16 seconds. There's no audio. Okay, we can take that down. The area of that video that's relevant to you and your family would be the top left portion. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know whether your two kids were struck by the vehicle?
Yes, they were.
Okay. And that's consistent with where they were sitting along the curb?
Yes.
Can you not see the rage in his face? It's like he wants to jump up and just scratch who was used eyes out. The rage on his face, which is very understandable, but he just wants to jump off this witness seat and just go after him, just pound him in the ugly snot ball. You know, he looks like the Mucinex snot ball Brooks does. Like when he takes his mask off and you see his face, it's like the Mucinex snot ball.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Brooks.
Aye.
You stated that all the videos you just saw were accurate depictions of what you observed that day, correct?
Yes.
Have you seen any of these videos before today?
No.
So today is your first time seeing any of this footage?
Yes.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Mr. Green, have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Yes.
Oh, no, the hell you didn't. I know the hell you did not. Ask him if he's been convicted of a crime. And especially you being the kingpin of crimes. Like I said, he is a criminal crime extraordinaire. and he's got a case, the charges from all over the country, from coast to coast. He got charges. Have you been convicted of a crime? What about you, bitch? Have you been convicted of a crime? Have you paid your child support yet?
Do you remember what you did when the vehicle passed you?
Yes.
You state for the record what you did immediately following the vehicle passing you?
I ran to see if my kids were okay.
You stated that your wife was standing to your left. Do you recall what she did?
No, I don't.
What a dumbass.
Do you recall checking to see if your wife was okay?
No, I don't.
Do you recall getting a look at the driver of the vehicle?
Yes, I do.
Uh-oh.
And what did you see?
I seen somebody in a hoodie with dark skin.
Did you observe anyone else in the vehicle?
No, I did not.
Could you see the entire vehicle? Passenger seat and back seats?
Vehicle.
I don't recall seeing anybody in the back seats. The windows were tinted.
So it would be fair to say if there was somebody seated in the back, you wouldn't have seen them.
What difference does it make? If they were sitting in the back, that means they couldn't have been driving. Unless, he was able to, beam somebody out and put them in the driver's seat. But it was only you, bitch. Tell me, it could have been somebody else in the car. It don't matter. They're in the back seat of the car. So this is not James Bond or who the cute white dude I like? Oh, Jason Statham movies.
I couldn't say.
Did you get a license plate number of the vehicle?
No, I did not.
Hold on.
From your opinion about how fast we
License, LYCIN, place, PLACE, license place.
You say the vehicle was traveling?
Hard to say.
After the vehicle passed you, did you observe it strike anyone else?
No, I did not.
Were you injured during the incident in any way?
No, I was not.
Was your wife injured in any way during the incident?
No, she was not.
Do you recall about how long you were at the parade before the incident happened?
Oh, wait a minute. So you didn't ask if the kids were injured, because the kids were injured, but you just said the wife and you. But forget the kids, right? Them the ones you ran over.
I do not.
Do you recall about how long you stayed after the incident?
No longer than 3 minutes.
So you got right out of there immediately after?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you recall making a report of what happened at the incident?
No.
You don't recall talking to Officer Sepacan?
I did not talk to anybody at the incident.
You don't recall making any police report to what happened?
Not at the incident, no.
In the days following the incident, did you make any report?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall who the officer was that you reported the incident to?
No, I do not.
Hell no.
So earlier you said that you heard a crash to your right, which alerted you to the vehicle approaching. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Do you know what that crash was?
The vehicle hitting the band.
Uh-oh.
So before you heard that crash, you wasn't alerted to the presence of a vehicle approaching?
No, I was not.
So that means no horn was honking. That's just where he's going with that. Alerting people to his presence because he was honking the horn.
Would it be fair to say that it was really loud during the parade at that time?
Yes.
Do you recall in the report that you made that you initially thought the vehicle was part of the parade and it was an accident?
Yes.
So it's fair to say from when you first saw the vehicle approaching that that's what you thought?
Yes.
Until you ran over somebody, and then that's when people realize that it's not in the parade. This is a bitch ass clown that ran over people. Again, you see his face, you see his body language. He is pissed. And he's probably thinking the audacity of this bitch asking me questions.
Do you recall the vehicle swerving?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember what direction the vehicle swerved in?
To the left, towards me and my family.
Look at him. He is mad.
And did it swerve away from your family at that point?
After it hit my family, yes.
Look at this. He is.
Do you remember stating that you were not sure if the people being run over were part of the parade or guests watching the parade?
Who gives
I do
a
not recall
fuck?
making that statement, no.
Do you recall the make or model of the SUV?
No, I do not.
Do you recall the license plate number of the SUV?
No, I do
You already
not.
asked that question.
Do you remember stating that when you saw the SUV coming, you froze?
Yes.
And do you remember saying that you stared directly at it as it was driving towards you?
Yes.
And you didn't get an accurate description of the driver?
I had already stated that I seen a tan-skinned person with a hood on.
Here it
You
comes.
said dark skin.
Objection. It's not a question, argumentative.
Oh, is there a
Brown.
question, Mr. Brooks? You can't testify, but you can question him. So your last statement I'll strike. Ask your question.
Did you not state earlier that you saw a dark skin?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just say this. This question is going to be very uncomfortable for white people because white people want to say the answer to this question is dark skin is darker than them, right? Because they'll describe a person that's Latin as tall, dark, and handsome, and they're not dark, right? So we know the answer is darker than a Caucasian, darker than me. But some people are so afraid of being thought of as racist, they try to moderate their response. But the correct answer is darker than me. That's all you got to say, darker than me. And so for Black people, the way that we recognize different complexions, because dark skin to you is different than dark skin to us. Dark skin to us is Wesley Snipes or Idris Elba. Light skin would be Meghan Markle. But for you, for white people, we all are dark. Now you might see us as noticing the variation, but for Black people, dark means like I said, Wesley Snipes, Idris Elba. Anyway, just wanted to give you some of perspective on that. So white people, if anybody asks you, dark skin, what is a dark skinned person? If it's when we talk about Black people, just say darker than a Caucasian. That is the correct answer.
And did you now just state that you saw a tan skin driver?
They both seem the same to me.
So from your perspective, dark skin and tan skin is the same?
See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? He getting him tripped up on his discomfort in this topic of conversation.
Grounds.
Argumentative. Next question.
And pointless and
You
stupid.
can rephrase.
What would you consider to be dark skin?
Objection.
Grounds.
Overruled. You may answer.
It's hard to say.
What would you consider to be tan skin?
Darker than Caucasian, I guess.
Would it be fair to say that there is different types of shades of color to people? Would that be fair to say?
Really?
Yes.
He answered the question. His answer may stand.
Do you recall if the driver was doing anything, gesturing or doing anything?
No.
Do you recall hearing gunshots?
No.
Any idea why that would be in the report?
Objection.
Grounds.
Sustained is to the form of a question, and that's foundation.
Do you recall stating that, well, let me read from the report. Thomas stated they heard gunshots and he picked up Charles and they ran back to their vehicle. Do you recall making that statement?
I recall an officer coming down the street yelling gunshots fired.
Lord.
Any idea why you would be mistaken in your report that you heard the gunshots?
What the? Is there any reason why the police officer who did the report did not report accurately what the dude said? That's freaking stupid. How would he know? He didn't write it. The police officer wrote it.
Objection, mischaracterizes.
Grounds.
Sustained.
And it's
Lack of
hearsay.
foundation as to the form of the question.
I'm reading directly from the report.
It's not his statement.
Directly from the report.
That's not the issue, Mr. Brooks. The issue is it his statement or a summary of his statement? Because that makes a difference to the foundation you have to lay.
It does not say summary.
I'll object if that was a question for the witness. If it was an argument with the court, I'll withdraw that objection.
I believe it was a statement to the court. I don't know what you're looking at. But if it's a witness statement, typically there's something either signed, sometimes police officers summarize what witnesses say to them. So that's what I'm referring to as a summary. And if it's in a summary, typically if it's a direct attribution to a witness, it's in quotes. So with that.
Oh, girl, he does not know what attribution means. You tripping him up. That's a direct attribution. He don't know what that means. Quit using big words. You're going to confuse him.
Ask your question.
This is not in quotes, but I'm going to assume this is summary.
Yes,
Do you remember stating in your summary report that you heard gunshots?
No.
Do you recall if the injuries suffered by your family were broken bones?
They were not.
Really?
So were they bruises?
Yes.
About how long would you say that your family was treated at the hospital before being released?
Wow.
Hard to say.
Was this a significant amount of time? A few hours?
A few hours, yes.
But to your recollection, they were treated and then released?
Yes.
And who is Nicole?
My wife.
Woo! Look at his face. Oh my God. You know, if he was like Superman and he had those laser beam eyes, yeah, Brooks wouldn't be here.
Do you recall Nicole making any statements to law enforcement?
She made one, yes.
Do you recall Nicole stating that she heard gunshots?
No, I didn't.
No.
And an objection, it calls for hearsay. It's sustained. Any answer that he gave is struck. Jury shall disregard it.
Your Honor, I'm also reading this from the summary.
Question him about what he knows, not what other people said to him.
Thank you.
No, the question was, did he know? Do you recall her saying that she heard gunshots?
That's asking him to confirm hearsay, so it's sustained. Next question or rephrase.
Hell.
Are you aware?
Are you aware if she heard gunshots or not?
I'm not aware.
Is it fair to say that right after that you ran straight to your vehicle?
Right after what?
Right after the incident.
There was a slight delay.
And what was that delay?
Seeing if our kids were okay.
And then from that, straight to the vehicle.
After the officer came running down the street saying shots fired, we picked kids and ran.
Brooks does not care about any of this. Nothing. He does not care that he injured this people's family and put them in jeopardy. And so he's questioning them like, well, you know, they had some bruises, but they weren't hurt that bad because they were released from the hospital in a few hours.
So you decided to leave after you heard the officer saying shots fired, or because of the incident at the parade?
After the officer said shots fired.
So would it be fair to say that you weren't initially inclined to leave because of the incident, but because of the shots fired?
Oh my God.
Grounds.
Overruled. He may answer and then move on.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Would it be fair to say that you were prompted to leave because of the shots fired and not the incident that happened at the parade?
I don't really understand what you're asking.
What prompted you to leave?
So what he's asking is, or what he's trying to say is that the incident wasn't bad enough for you to leave with your family and your children, right? Because you waited to leave until after you heard shots fired. And that's what made you leave, not the incident with the vehicle. It's because the police said shots fired. Yes, Glenn, exactly.
When the officer said shots fired.
So the incident that happened didn't prompt you to leave?
No.
Grounds?
Overruled. He may answer if he understands the question.
We did not want to leave right away because my son said he couldn't feel his legs. And there was a woman there helping us that said he might have a back injury, that we should not move him.
To your recollection, was that woman a nurse or a medical professional?
I don't know.
Would it be fair to say that she was making an assumption?
I don't know.
Do you recall the woman's name?
No, I don't.
Do you?
Does it matter? That was a good Samaritan who was involved in a tragic accident, who sees a kid on the ground and they try to help. Like I would expect most people who are not narcissistic bastards to do the same. If somebody got ran over by a car or a little kid got hit by a car, I would instinctively go and see if they're okay. That's what I would do.
Recall if she was a spectator or someone marching or
I don't know.
Do you recall the description of the woman that told you not to move your child?
Who cares? Who cares? Well, you got the description of the woman's care for your child, or is it fair to say that they part of a medical profession? Are they doctors? Are they nurses? Who cares?
I'll object. Relevance.
Grounds.
Overruled. He may answer.
Caucasian, blonde hair.
So it'd be fair to say she seemed pretty concerned.
Look at his face.
Very concerned.
So why would you not immediately leave at that point?
Because I didn't know if he had a back injury or what the extent of his injuries were. And if it was a spinal injury, I didn't want to pick him up.
Did you try to make a call for medical attention at that point?
Wow.
I did not.
And what prompted you not to seek medical attention?
Because the ambulances are already on their way.
You had a assumption that the injuries could be severe.
This all happened within about a 2-second time frame. I mean, it was so fast. Everything was chaotic, and I mean, there wasn't really time to do anything besides try to see if my kids were okay and try to compose myself to take care of them.
But see, Darrell doesn't understand this because he doesn't give a fuck about his kids. He does not care at all. At all. They're props in his play. But he didn't care. So that's why he didn't relate to this father. You know, you would think having a child, having children, that something bad happening to a child, that would stir something on the inside. But no. It's how come you didn't leave immediately after the vehicle passed by? Because they were concerned about their son and causing more damage, or son or daughter, causing more damage because he said he couldn't feel his legs. And you're not supposed to move anybody.
So it would be fair to say that you were pretty much like
what?
Just frozen.
Yes.
You didn't know what to do and how to go about doing it.
Yes.
Do you recall your wife trying to call for medical attention?
No.
Do you recall anyone that you were standing next to or in front of attempting to call medical attention?
I don't understand him. If it's a chaotic scene, nobody is doing any of this. Y'all remember 9/11 and people were running when the buildings fell? Do you recall anybody standing around and saying, you know, did you call for medical attention? Did you call for medical attention? Did you call for medical attention? It was people running and trying to get out of harm's way. People were, you know, helping each other. They were sharing in camaraderie, and you know, they had survived this tragic accident. Same thing here. Nobody is going to sit there and say, let me get and remember this person's face, this person's name. Let me see if they got a contact card, or let me ask and see, did you call the ambulance? Did you call? Did you call? Did you call? No. You are in a chaotic situation and you are scared to death that your kids might be severely injured or dead. But like I said, Darrell doesn't understand this because he doesn't give a shit about his children. Why else would the children, none of the kids, why are they not around him? How come the baby mama who just had the newborn didn't speak on his behalf? What about the little girl who's supposed to be a daddy's girl? How come her mama didn't come around and speak on his behalf? Because he didn't give a fuck about none of these children.
No.
Do you recall saying in the summarized report, this statement, Thomas stated Charles was laying on his back and had blacked out?
To my recollection, yes.
You recall saying that to the officer?
I recall my son saying that.
Do you recall making that statement to the officer that interviewed you?
No, I do not.
Would it be fair to say that that is in the report because you may have said that to the officer?
Yes.
What is the
But you don't recall?
I do not.
Did you see any other children struck by the vehicle?
Yes!
The band.
Do y'all see how angry he is? Hold on, let me rewind this back just a little bit.
No, I do not.
Would it be fair to say that that is in the report because you may have said that to the officer?
Yes.
But you don't recall?
I do not.
Did you see any other children struck by the vehicle?
Look at his face. And he takes a big, deep breath. Look at his face. Look, it's like he's reliving it as he's discussing it. Hey, Bozzy. He's reliving it as he's being questioned about this. That's why he's got this look on his face.
The band.
Any other children?
The band!
Small children?
Small children.
No, I do not.
But you do recall small children being present, correct?
Yes.
Oh, so it's okay that he ran over the band and the dancers, but there wasn't any small children outside of Jackson Sparks, of course, but there weren't any small children that were struck. But the teenagers, the band, you know, that's okay. They got struck. I got it. That makes all the sense in the world. Mm-hmm.
No further questions.
Can you redirect?
Thank you.
You testified at cross-examination that you initially thought the vehicle was part of the parade and that it was an accident. Do you recall giving that testimony?
Yes.
Did you continue to think that it was an accident?
Objection. Hearsay.
That is not
No,
a hearsay,
Hold on.
idiot.
Overruled, he may answer.
Once the vehicle kept going after hitting the band, I realized that it was not a part of the parade.
What about the vehicle's path of travel led you to that realization?
the speed that it has accelerated.
You recall testifying on cross-examination that you don't recall the make and model or license plate number of the SUV? Remember saying that? How many SUVs or vehicles in general did you see striking people during the parade route?
Objection, irrelevant.
Oh, that's irrelevant, huh?
Just the one.
And you testified that you've been convicted of a crime in the past. How many times?
Once.
You testified a little bit about the injuries that your two kids sustained. You had a third child with you at the parade, is that right?
Yes.
And was that third child injured in any way?
She was not.
Okay. Speaking about the two kids who were, do you recall in general what their injuries were?
My son had nerve damage to his knees, and my daughter just had severe bruising.
Do you know what part of their bodies, respectively, were struck?
My son was struck in the knees, and my daughter was struck in her hand.
Do you remember if it was the right knee or both knees, or the left knee?
It was both knees.
Hold on. Objection is overruled. He may answer. Can you repeat your answer?
Both knees.
And what about your daughter? Which hand?
Right hand.
And they were sitting facing the parade route?
Yes.
So what direction would the SUV have traveled from their perspective? Right to left or left to right or something different?
Right to left.
Okay. I think we're all set. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, maybe please excuse this witness.
You may. This will be our last witness today. I will have the instruction for the jury before I excuse you. You are excused for the evening. We'll
Look at this bitch.
see you tomorrow morning.
Look at this bitch.
All rise for the jury, please.
Anyway. Okay, so I have been here for 2 hours and 17 minutes. I like to keep these about 2 hours. So, if you're rewatching it, it's not, too much. I think 2 hours is a good amount of time. So the next time I come back, I will do the Erica Patterson, Detective Guth interview, and we can listen to that, and then we can hear some of the fuckery that is Darrell Brooks. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. I appreciate all of you. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, please, if you want to participate in any conversations, you can go ahead and do it, in my comment section. And I always try to respond back to you. All righty. Well, I appreciate everybody. Just want to keep saying I appreciate everybody. And I'm going to say one more thing, and that is drums, please.
Drums, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a great time tonight. We have truly enjoyed ourselves, and we would like to thank you for being a part of the show and coming to visit this platform. Live on YouTube, Auntie Miracle B. Make sure you come back, because it's all the way live each and every time. Auntie Miracle B.